It's October of 2019, before COVID happened. I am about to start my 10 a.m. high school French class, preparing my pens and my notebook, being the good student I am. The teacher is not there yet. Every other student is on their phone. The teacher arrives, and I become focused for whatever is about to come next. Some grammar exercises, reading the textbook, or even a surprise test. Man, I hated those. Instead, she hands each one of us a copy of the local newspaper she picks up in the subway every morning prior to class. We are about to read the newspaper for 15 minutes every day from now on before the beginning of class, she says. That's the moment I realize how mindful I was compared to the other kids, compared to the other students who are the same age as me. That's when I didn't have a phone. It was my second to last year of high school. I was about 15 years old. I did not have a phone yet. I was probably one of the only kids who didn't have a phone. Every time I wanted to talk to someone, to talk to another classmate, it I just didn't feel the connection. I just didn't feel the vibe. And I realized now it was because they had another friend in the digital world, another friend in their pocket. That was their smartphone. It's funny because that moment with the newspaper, I was really into it. I was really actually reading the news and getting curious about it. And that moment, I believe, sparked my interest in learning more about life and made me the curious person I am today. The other students in my class did not care about reading. They just read for the sake of passing time, but they were not actually invested in the reading itself. And you could see it in their eyes. They were just waiting to get back on their phones, getting those micro shots of dopamine. I didn't even know what they were looking at because I was not aware that you could have easy access to the internet out of your pocket in the palm of your hand. I didn't know that. I was truly happy back then. I think since I didn't know how we could get addicted to something like that, I was just really happy with the real life I had. I was not hooked onto social media, gaming, video games, and everything that's possible on a phone yet. Then COVID hit. And COVID is funny because I think COVID was the life changing period of my life so far. It gave me really the first step, the first insight into what is like having money. And, as a teenager, when you have money, you start to you want to buy things. You just want to buy things. So here where I am, the school stopped because of COVID, and every high school student had a 2K pension to cover for the costs of not going to school and for tuition fees. And of course, being the kid I am, like every other one, I spend the money for myself. And I wanted to see what was so interesting about that device that every other kid, every other teacher, every other person had in school. So I started looking into phones, and I saw this one phone, the one I'm recording with right now. I still have it 5 years later. I bought it for 1K, 1,200, and I felt good back then. But as time goes on and I start to use it, to get familiar with it, I realize that it should only be used as a tool for work, for entertainment, with a specific goal in mind. Because using it just like that, without thinking about it, like a zombie, it makes you feel like a zombie, and you just feel disgusted and disconnected from the real world. You feel you don't even need to connect with real people, and that's the problem we have in universities right now. I feel that too many students are connected with the devices that they forget how to connect with people themselves. Their devices have become their friends, their allies, their therapist, the people they talk to with AI chatbots now, ChatGPT, and everything. They don't even need to talk to someone real. And that just makes everyone isolated and more depressed and less happy, which obviously makes sense. You dedicate all your time to your online life, and while your real life just sucks. There's nothing going on in your real life. For many people, the only thing that makes them continue is this social aspect of school, the club. So the clubs that you can find at school, the community aspect. That's about the only thing that keeps university students keep going. It's possible to be happier. Learning how to be happy is a skill that can be learned by everyone. It starts with your phone mainly, because you're mainly addicted to your phone and not to your PC. You're not going to scroll on Instagram on your PC, but on your phone, you will do it unconsciously, lying on your bed. It's possible to level up the skill of controlling your technology use, your phone use, and not the other way around, to find the right balance between real life and digital life through finding something greater than going on the phone in your real life. There has to be something, some goal greater to pursue in your real life rather than to pursue it in the digital world. That's why self improvement, self care, and the idea of purpose is so important to people our age now. The school system doesn't teach us about any of these things, and we just get hooked by whatever comes at us instead of taking the time of finding out what we want and not just grabbing any information that comes at us, but instead to think about what information do we want to absorb first. All of this is caused by evil social media companies and their software developers who know all about it and who constantly optimize everything so that you can't do anything. And they do it for their money and their reputation, whilst you get artificial likes, comments, and followers. They know about the detrimental effects of social media on young adults, especially people who are in school, and how it affects their learning, not only in school, but in life also. But they don't care. They want you to get hooked and keep scrolling. I truly want to change that. I want I want young adults, I want university students to get their zest back in life. I want them to just, have a goal in life. I feel that too many people don't have an actual goal they dedicated themselves to and set themselves, and they just follow whatever others say because of the fear of missing out, the social pressure, all of these which are all caused by social media and what we see online nowadays. That's what I want to change about the culture of university and the school system. That's why I have my program, the New School. The New School is a community of like-minded students who want to escape from the school system and the digital world to make connections in the real world and get to live a free life. You can join my school community down below, and I also have a free Discord server with a free community where you can book a free call as well. So make sure to check that out. So you're not happy, you're not currently fulfilled with where you are right now in your progression in the education system. What could you do realistically that's relatively easy? One of the action steps you can take is to establish your priorities in life, in your routine, because that's what it's all about. Your life is about a routine that you should get to create yourself. But right now, the government, the school is creating that routine for you, so it doesn't feel as there doesn't seem much friction to it. But you should get to learn how to start your own routine. So sit down and think about what you want to really focus on in your real life. That could be anything. You could focus on health, on your work, on your personal projects, on your relationships, anything that includes real life and as little as the digital life as possible. And in the gym, we have this concept of progressively overloading, which means that each week, each session, we are adding a little bit more resistance to make the exercise, the workout, more difficult, which in the end will achieve more strength and hypertrophy, muscle growth. But that same concept can be applied to how we use social media, but in the opposite way. So we want to progressively deload our social media, our phone use. So you can start to look at your screen time, your average screen time, and start to decrease it by 30 minutes for 1 week. Then for 1 hour the second week, and so on. So you need to find the right gap, the right amount of time that you can adjust to, and just keep going from there. And at some point you will find the right amount of time of screen time that's the right balance for you between your real life and your digital life. Most people have a usage problem with their phone because it's so readily accessible and so easy and user-friendly. But you can change the mindset with your phone. Instead of thinking it as something you just need to grab onto when you're bored, you can think of it as a tool. That was its original purpose, a tool to help us in our lives, just like AI is. So all of these technological advances and inventions, we need to use them as tools, not as needs in our life. Every time you open your phone, you should have a goal in mind. You shouldn't just open your phone because you feel stressed, So you need to think, what are the essential apps and features on the phone? So You can use it for taking notes, watching some educational YouTube videos, or just making some research for your projects. Those are about the main tasks that you can do on your phone whilst you do your work at school. As for social media, it's really just a means to show off what you have when you use the posts as a consumer. The only great ways to use social media are to use it as a content creator or to use it to DM people and that way to connect with others. So those are the only two ways to use social media productively is one, to use it as a content creator, make content, be a producer and not a consumer. Two, to direct message, to message people about something. And preferably to message people and get to meet them and hang out in real life. Those are the only two reasons you should be using social media in your 20s, so that it doesn't affect your mental health and makes you more lonely. Being addicted to your phone makes you more sad because we need to realize that it makes us less happy and it prevents us from taking any action in real life. We are all taking the actions in the virtual world and we are not doing anything in real life. We have this sense of comfort and being fulfilled already, so we don't need to do anything. But that feeling is fake, like any instant gratification activity. My name is Doan, and my mission is to help university students who feel that they are not living up to their potential become fulfilled adults before they get out there in the real world. See you next time.